seeing, how far can I go? Where's the edge here as far as like this skill goes? How far can I go with it? Like, where do I need to know what they're looking for, the boundaries, basically. So I interpret this phenomena of high schoolers going to college and just like, going insane, basically, and seeming to fail at handling the responsibility of taking care of themselves. I see it as just testing their boundaries. Like, what happens if I do just like keep drinking, like don't stop drinking for like a week? It's like, well, you find out what happens, and then you learn, and that's why everyone talks about their college days and why those were those times and these are these times, and we don't do that anymore, kind of thing. It's unfortunate that they have to experience it at a point in their life when they are probably best off trying to build on their skills that will help them in their career and in their life, and that they don't get to learn about intoxication and learn about like social skills when everyone's not forced to be there. It's unfortunate that they're learning all that stuff when they're like in their 20s or, late teens. So, I just can't believe the world we live in sometimes.
It's a mess. Yeah, well, should say this. I've signed the Free State Project Pledge. My target date is about sometime in the next 16 months.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yes. It's about my second episode that I've had dedicated, or this has been the full episode dedicated towards that, but I think it does make a lot of sense. And I haven't gone to all the, of course, 101 reasons why you should, but I'd say for the audience to definitely check that out.
Do you know where in New Hampshire you're thinking of moving?
Right now, I'm thinking right now probably Manchester at the moment.
Nice. Yeah. Well, that's where I am now, and that's where.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. I was going to say that's where I am, and that's where I've discovered that you'll find Manchester's the biggest city in New Hampshire, and it also has the most free staters naturally. So if you want a larger selection of people to hang out with, Manchester is definitely where it's at.
Yeah, it's also just and that's probably about the closest is about the population of Valdosta, Georgia, where I'm at right now. It's about roughly the same as well.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be that much of a cultural shock, I speak. It's something I'm used
to.
Yeah,
that's perfect. Yeah, because when I moved, I went to Keene. It was half the size of my hometown, but the same dynamics. Like, both were college towns. So it really wasn't that hard. So I think finding a town in New Hampshire that's like the most similar population-wise, like industry-wise, as where you're coming from is probably going to be the easiest transition. So I think that's very smart, Eric. I think that's a good move.
Yeah. And also, I'm told that it's kind of very central, that this is from, I believe a Shire dude said that it's pretty much everything. It's probably closest to, I guess, where else in New Hampshire as well. I mean, it's the most, maybe an hour or so, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I mean, you can get to most other places in New Hampshire within an hour. Well, Keene, I guess, takes more than that. But yeah, like I'm used to basically getting from one end of the state to the other opposite end. Like, I'm talking about the long ways in New Hampshire from, south to north. It takes like 2 hours. And I actually went home to visit family for Thanksgiving, and I was thinking I would visit my friend who'd moved, into North Alabama, and I was thinking Alabama was the same size as New Hampshire, so I was thinking it would take, it'll take 2 hours to get there, no big deal. My mom was like, that takes like 5 hours to get where you're talking about visiting. I realized that it's very nice to live in such a small state where like no one is that far away. And then like Boston is not that far away from Manchester either. You get to New York pretty quickly. Like you're not gonna. There's this weird thing where people think that New Hampshire is like all rural, and like if you move there, then you're just like out of touch. I think, I mean, it seems like people make fun of New Hampshire in that way, but it's not. I'm so much closer to like, if I wanted to do things in the city, I can more easily do that where I am now than where I came from. And that's true of most people who move here. Like they're much closer to like cities if they want to be,
Yeah.
Are you the kind of person who would like find yourself going to Boston for the afternoon? Because you can do that.
I might. I mean, I don't know. I mean, yes. I mean, yeah. I can see. That could be possible, but there's Massachusetts policies.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is Massachusetts. That's
true. Yeah. But
yeah,
once I get there, I mean, I will. I mean, I was planning most like as spending as most time in New Hampshire as possible. I mean, hopefully, if I can get as many as my family members to come visit me rather than visit them, that would be more the ideal. And
yeah.
And of course, if there's in a situation like I know some free staters have had to move away from New Hampshire because of like be closer to dying family members, I would more likely want them hopefully move them over to New Hampshire rather than move back. That's my attitude. So
I see where you're coming from. I love the Porcupine Freedom Festival every year because my sister and her boyfriend, they come up from Mexico every year to go to Pork Fest. So I always get to see them at least once a year, but usually more than that. And my mom came one year, which is crazy. So like 2 years ago, my mom came to Pork Fest. So, I mean, you just need the excuse to get them to come. For me, it was Pork Fest, which is convenient because that's the week I take off anyway.
So do you have anything you'd like to plug to the audience? We have about 7 more minutes, so just go ahead and mention anything and everything that you want the audience to be aware of.
Let's see. Well, the main thing that people say, the main objection, people who love everything about the Free State Project except for the cold. They're all very nervous about the cold. So, if your listeners are from a warm area, I'm from Alabama, so I can tell you.
That must have been rather hard. I'm in South Georgia, so.
Okay, yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, I guess I didn't realize that. Wow. Okay. Where in Georgia are you from?
Well, I spent most of my life in Kingsland, Georgia, and then about 4 years ago I moved 2.5 hours west. And it's about we're like right, or maybe about an hour, like 2 hours away from Florida. So.
Okay, I see. All right, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I'm from the South, so I'm not used to the snow, and for me, like the snow was part of what made me want to come here. So if I could, there's people out there who don't like snow, I guess maybe don't come or only come during the summer. But like there's some free staters who are like, oh, if you can't put up with snow, then you don't really care about liberty. I don't feel that way at all. I say, liberty isn't just about moving to New Hampshire. It's about living wherever you feel the most free. And some people, if you, really feel like uncomfortable being in the cold, then it's going to be uncomfortable for you sometime, for a few months, basically. But I love the snow, and I just think it's so beautiful, and it. Unfortunately, I'm actually disappointed right now that there's no snow on the ground because Christmas is coming, and I really wanted a white Christmas, but right now there's no snow on the ground, so it's not that bad, But I just know that that's one of the main things that people bring up about New Hampshire, and I'm so worried because it's going to be cold. I mean, yeah, it gets cold, but it takes I mean, it doesn't take that long for you to acquire all the gear. If anything, I overestimated how cold it would be. So my first winter, I like loaded up on all this winter stuff. So I have snow pants, I have snow boots, I have like tons, way too many jackets. I feel like I would have a different jacket for every day of the month. And that's not true, but I have a lot of jackets. So you just learn to layer, and it's not a big deal. In fact, for me, it's like I prefer it to the weather in Alabama, because I hate to sound like one of those obnoxious people, but I love that there are seasons here. I didn't have seasons growing up. It's really nice to see the changes, so I love that.
Yeah, that's yeah, I know. Of course, and I guess if the cold really is something that you're not that is really a big issue for you. I mean, it wouldn't be for me. I mean, you don't necessarily, you might just not want to move or live there. I mean, there are other just competing different projects that are going for duplicate with the Free State Project.
In North Carolina, there's the Blue Ridge Liberty Project. Carlos Morales, he lived there for a little while, and so I heard some things about them. And then the one in Austin, Texas, but I can't think of the name right now.
The Lone Star Liberty Forum. Yeah, there's also, of course, I don't know if you caught any of the hour before you. Violet declares she's working very much in the Free Detroit project, which basically is
Free Detroit. Interesting.
Oh, sorry. The show's about to end at 90 seconds. Thank you for joining.
Okay.
Please tune in next week. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Eric.
Okay.